You know what? In life, don't cover the judge by. Don't judge the cover, judge the book. Man, don't book the cover. Book. Don't whatever. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Gango, how's everybody doing, man? Welcome back to Man Blue FC. My name is Nandan. We're back with another reaction. Today we're reacting to That's Football with Mark Goldbridge, and he's breaking down last night's match between Arsenal and Sunderland, and very interesting. I actually tuned in for that one. Interestingly enough, I slept through the entire Manchester United versus Tottenham match. I don't know how I did that. I set an alarm and everything. But yeah, I woke up at full time, and apparently I missed out on a lot of drama. But that's for another video. Today we're going to focus on, Arsenal, who funnily enough had the exact same scoreline as that previous match. But anyway, let's hear what Mark Goldbridge has to say about it, man. Let's jump into it right now.
Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. Sunderland 2, Arsenal 2, and look, unlike Arsenal, they've slipped up. I wouldn't say bottled it. I wouldn't even say, weakness. Sunderland are unbeaten in the Premier League this season at home, and they are third in the league. So respect to Sunderland, first of all, before we get into Arsenal. That is not a shock of the enormity that some people might talk about. I mean, it's not Arteta, is it? It's an Arsenal side that have defended fantastically well this season, that have won a lot of games this season, who have drawn away from home against a decent team at home. So, look, let's not forget that Arsenal were, 3 minutes away from a very, very, very good win. And I did expect to be talking about that, because I think in the first half, they're losing 1-0. Second half, they get back to 2-1. And you look at Arsenal and you go, They have an answer to everything. They are climbing every obstacle. 1-0 down to 2-1 up, another 3 points. And they've done a lot of that this season. But Sunderland kept going. They had a couple of chances before the equaliser, and they scraped and scrapped, and they got it through Brobby. So well done to Sunderland.
Crazy goal.
I think from Arsenal's point of view, look, they would have liked to have won that game. Man City play Liverpool tomorrow. There is an opportunity that if Arsenal had won and Man City and Liverpool drew, you can open up a big gap. Now there's an opportunity for Man City or Liverpool to win and close the gap a little bit. But look, I think Arsenal will win the league. I want Arsenal to win the league over Liverpool and Man City because they're bigger rivals to United. But I don't want Arsenal to run away with the league. I want a title race. So, and I also think Sunderland as an underdog, that's fantastic for them today. So I think that's a good result. And I don't think in the fullness of time it'll be a bad result for Arsenal. I think they massively missed Gyökeres. I mentioned this in the first half on the watch-along. Moreno put a shift in, but Gyökeres offers so much to Arsenal that isn't just goals. And the simpletons of this world talk about goals. But when you watch Arsenal and you watch Gyökeres, his physicality, his ability to push defenders back, push them out wide, create those spaces that people like Eze and Zubimendi and Saka can operate in, they missed that today. And Moreno, I felt, was a bit of an easier task, a lot easier task than it would have been for Sunderland played Gyökeres. So look, but you're going to get them across the season, and you're going to drop points across the season. You're going to concede goals across the season. Arsenal have been winning and not even conceding shots on target, let alone goals. Incredible defensive record. And tonight they've conceded 2 goals. And if you concede 2 goals in the Premier League, as we saw with United earlier and last week, if you concede 2 goals in the Premier League, you're probably not going to win many games. So, look, they've got to look at that. Both goals really are, the sort of goals that Arsenal would look to score. You win the first challenge and then you pick up the second ball. But I think what we saw tonight from Arsenal, from Sunderland as well, is something I was a bit confused about. That's only the second time I've watched Sunderland play 90 minutes this season. And yet I look at them in the league and go, something's going really, really well. When they played against us at United, I thought they were poor. But tonight, I thought, I get it. If they can mix it up with the best team in the league like they did tonight, then imagine what they can do to other teams who aren't Arsenal. So I think I saw what Sunderland are all about tonight. But I think we're also seeing in the Premier League this this home record. Teams at home are good. Most teams are really good at home, and most crowds are reacting to that, and it's difficult to beat them, and that's why Sunderland are unbeaten. I thought it was a very, very entertaining game. I don't think it was a good game of football. I mean, look, we probably saw more long throw-ins than we did shots on goal. And, you know, I think every single goal, apart from Trossard's... Well, no, fair play. Both Arsenal's goals weren't like it, but Sunderland's goals were both from direct balls into the box that led to second balls to be won. And I don't like that, but that's the way football's being played at the moment. It's difficult to defend. Arsenal have the best defence in the league, and the both goals they conceded were goals, like I said, that they like to score, where you lump it into the box, you win the first ball and you win the second ball, etc. And, you know, it's hard to defend. Arsenal have the best defence in the league. They've conceded 2 goals today from those types of goals. So, you know... do I think a draw is a fair result? Well, it was a draw. Do I think Arsenal are in trouble because of that? No. I think lesser teams than Arsenal would have struggled today. You know, I don't think Liverpool would have gone there and won. I don't think Man City would have gone there and won. So I think if you're an Arsenal fan, you've just got to take a deep breath and go, you can't win every week. You can't keep clean sheets every week. You can probably find ways why you should have won that game. You can probably blame people. There's always someone to blame. But actually, I think in the fullness of time, as I say, I think you'd look at that and go, it's not a bad point. It's what you do next week. It's what you've done for the last few weeks. Sunderland, at this moment, are a very, very good side, and they work really hard for each other, and they don't give in. And that's to their credit. They're not going to get relegated, which is a new thing, because we're used to seeing teams from the Championship go straight back down. So give Sunderland their credit, and I think Arsenal, whilst disappointed, you've got to realise that it's what you do after this, and you can't win every week. It won't happen. You know, Bayern Munich look like they're amazing in the Bundesliga. They've won their first 9 games, and then they've gone and drawn at Union Berlin 2-2, which is a very similar story to what Arsenal have done. So it happens to everybody, and of course they'll be a bit disappointed, but across the game, I did feel like a draw was probably the right result. And also, I think they massively missed Gyökeres, in my opinion. So there we go. Fair play to Sunderland. Arsenal, give me your thoughts below. Smash a like on the video. Don't forget, tomorrow it's Man City, Liverpool. Can they take advantage of this? I'll speak to you on the next one. Take care.
Big up Mark Goldbridge from That's Football. And listen, man, Arsenal, talking about Arsenal following that match is one thing. I think it's expected. Everybody's going to have an opinion about what happened. But I want to highlight Sunderland for a minute, because what they're doing is special in the Premier League this season. It's an anomaly in the fact that they're looking like they're going to be the first team in a long while to stay up after being promoted from the Championship, which is a good thing on its own. Even if they ended up maybe like mid-table, or even like in the 17th or 16th position at the end of the table, that would have been admirable to begin with. But the fact that, well, it's still very early, and you don't know if they're going to be able to like maintain this the standard that they've set up for themselves. But if the league were to end now, that means that they're definitely going to be in Europe, Champions League position. Is it Champions League or Europa? But listen, people, if Sunderland end up even in the Conference League, that's monumentous. I don't know a lot about that their manager, but he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? The Premier League is a very, very, very hard league to play in, and I say that because we have examples like Real Madrid, who seem to be good in their own league, but every single time they come play a Premier League team, they stumble. Like I've mentioned before, that the Premier League is Kylian Mbappe's kryptonite. And by the way, Kylian Mbappe, it doesn't even have to be like a Real Madrid thing. It's like back when Mbappe was playing for PSG, they played Newcastle in the Champions League, and they lost at St. James Park. So it's not as if Sunderland are playing bad teams or teams that are like ineffective. They're playing like some of the best teams in the world, in the form of Arsenal, in the form of you know, whoever else they've played, and they've won or drawn, and it's very spectacular for those guys. So big up to those guys. And as for Arsenal, listen. Everybody has been saying or has kind of like proclaimed Arsenal that they're favorites to win the league and all that, and I haven't been on that I haven't gotten on that bandwagon because I knew something like this would happen, and I know it's going to happen again more frequently, where they're going to drop points because Arsenal are natural borrow jobs. We know this. Like, it's not even like a diss at this point. It's just me reciting history. Arsenal have a very, very, very hard time getting over the line. No matter what competition they're playing in, whether it be the cup competitions, European competitions, or the league competition that they're favorites for. They don't know how to, they don't have that DNA of actually seeing things through. How are you going to beat all these good teams and draw against us, only losing to Liverpool, just to draw against Sunderland, a newly promoted team? It's crazy. That doesn't make you a bad team. That doesn't mean that your defense isn't as stable as it is, as we know it to be. It just means that it's moments like this, like these, where it's like, okay, here we go again. You know what I mean? The bozo gene rears its head again. You know what I mean, for your team. So, very good for us. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking too soon here because we have Liverpool to play in a few hours, and I'm not. You know, we are at home, and Mark Goldbridge did mention something about teams having a good home record, and that includes us. But Liverpool are Liverpool, man. They were stumbling for a while, but now they've regained their form. It's gonna be interesting, man. Hopefully we win, and you know what I mean. But if we lose, I know, bro, I just don't want to drop points again, man. Not before an international break. But anyway, guys, you know what I mean. That was the video. Mark Goldbridge shared a few interesting things. And yeah, so if you guys like the video, go ahead and leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if you have to. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one, man. Peace out.